I bought the fucking license. Here we go. $30.
If this doesn't work, you gotta fucking tweet at them just insistently. You're gonna be like, fuck this shit.
I'm gonna get critical. I'm gonna get leafy. I'm gonna get like, if you don't give me my fucking $30.
Should we go around really quick and introduce ourselves again?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kat. I am an avid fanfiction reader, and I have read everything that's ever been written.
Wonderful. I'm Miyuki. I guess I'm a longtime fanfic reader, off and on, and I've been on quite a hiatus. This is my return.
I'm Wooz, the only one on this panel of judges that still writes fanfic. I've been reading probably as long as I've been writing. Yeah.
Hi, Kat. First, long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time caller.
I love when people
You're listening for a whole day?
So this is actually like the second episode, but the first one's audio got fucked up, so we're just gonna roll with it.
That's what happens when you don't buy a $30 license.
To record shit, yeah.
Shout out to, what's the name of the program you're using?
A Moto Call Recorder Premium for Skype.
What a short and concise name. My favorite quote that I think can describe our last audio recording is the C-Jam quote where he's like, y'all ready to get as fucked up as my English? And I'm like, bitch, me too.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great quote.
Yeah. So this is just like a fanfic. Fanfic. This is a podcast. This is a podcast. Wow. I love how now I can't talk.
Nailed it.
And that's the show. Ta-da! This is a podcast about fanfics where we just kind of criticize them and make fun of them because...
with a light heart.
Light heart, yeah. Never meant to be derogatory or inflammatory. It's just meant to be lighthearted fun because I have nothing better to do with my time.
Same!
I always love when people, are criticizing someone. They're like, you only make fun of this because you have nothing better to do with your time. I'm like, you're absolutely right.
My favorite one is like...
I'm like, so? I live a free life in the free state of United States of America.
The free state of the United States of America.
Absolutely.
All of them.
It's a state because it could possibly change at any time.
Exactly. Oh, I was gonna say, like,
Dark!
People who are like, can you do any better? And I'm like, I don't have to be a 5-star show to know I don't like something.
True. I'm like, can you do any better? I'm like, probably not. So we're both in the same boat. So like, because I can also write shitty, I can also say you write shitty.
Exactly.
Picks one and no one. Yeah. Oh man, episode I was going to also mention down the line we should have an episode all about adding adjectives to things that don't need adjectives, like chuckling darkly. Stuff like that.
There are a few fics where like every other word is an adjective because they feel like they need to describe everything.
Yeah, and like describing things is great, but let's never like get too into it. Like if you describe eyes as orbs, get the fuck out of town.
Same. That's like an instant close.
Oh my god. I mean, something overused is wetness on the cheeks when you're talking about someone crying.
Oh my god, yeah. What was the thing? Was it one of y'all that found it, or your friend found it? That was like,
the one with the melted ice?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Melted ice flowing down your cheeks. I always, to like make fun of shit like that, I always will say, anytime I'm crying, or anytime I'll be like, oh my god, I'm sobbing, I'll be like, real human salt water coming out of my eyes.
I mean, it's great because it gives you me things to say in real life.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Do you guys want to start off talking about like your like least favorite tropes and why?
Let's start with our least favorite tropes. I hate I hate a lot of stuff in fics.
Hater!
I will say, Wooz hates some stuff that I adore. Yeah. But like Wooz hates it for like valid reasons, just because it's like overdone.
Yes.
Yeah, so like coffee shop AUs kill me. I can't stand them. one I saw that was the most wild one. It was for Overwatch, and it took like Hanzo and I don't remember who else. Probably McCree, because it's the most basic ship ever. And I'm like, why would you take these people out of their lives to serve coffee?
Yeah, I can understand. Like, I like coffee shop AUs for like a lot of things, just because it's like, because some like the thing I find too much though is like lots of times when I read a story, sometimes I'm like, I want it to actually kind of follow canon, because I'm like, the story is really of like the actual universe it's in is really interesting. And I find that so much that people want to, like, be, like, different, that they all do AUs, so, like, nobody's different, and, like, nobody's doing, like, actually, like, what's kind of canon, if that makes sense.
Oh, and not to mention just, like, they're, like, even if it's AU, or even if it's canon, like, the characterization of certain people, it's, like, all the same, and yet it's something that is so inaccurate, and, like, so it becomes, like, they become almost, like, typecast into something that they're not even remotely like.
You could have, like, an AU, and I think this is my problem, like, that's just their profession, you know? It's such a small part of that person's day that, like, I don't mind if it's an AU. I don't mind if they happen to be a barista. I just don't know why it has to take place there. I'd rather spend their lives at home instead of stuck at the coffee shop all day.
Yeah, like, if I was dating a barista, which almost happened, like, their whole life wouldn't revolve around the fact that they serve me coffee, you know? Like, that wouldn't be like, it's like, wow, why did you like me? It's like, I don't know, you served me my coffee, and, like, that's all we're going to talk about, and we're going to go on dates at coffee shops, because, like,
your phone number on my coffee cup.
On my coffee cup, yeah. I do enjoy the...
Oh, I love this story. Like, was getting coffee.
I do get why people love them, though, and, like, why I love them, because it's, like, cool to see, it's, like, on the flip side of, like, what my argument was earlier, is it's really cool also to see, like, either, like, fictional or real people, like, outside of something, and just put into something that's so normalized, like, it could, like, not that it ever would happen, or necessarily could in, like, fictional characters' cases, but, like, it's very, like, almost relatable, or, like, easy to imagine, because it's, like, like, plausibility with some things.
Yeah. And, like, that's kind of part of the, I guess, the boyfriend aesthetic thing, which is kind of a weird thing to explain, but, like, I also get it. I was talking to my best friend about it, because she's not really she couldn't really be classified as a fangirl, although we've been in fandoms together since, like, we were super young, so, but she just, like, has a completely different outlook on stuff, so she's like, what is this about? And so I have to explain to her all these fangirl things, right? And so, like, you know, like, when... like, they have, like, off shots of stuff, and they're just wearing their normal clothes and things, and, like, idols, like, that's a big, like, it's, like, fetishized to some point, because it's like, oh, they're normal, like, this could be you just hanging out with them, blah, 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 so they're selling, like, that relatable fantasy. It's, like, part of that kind of thing. And so, like, I get that, because it's like, oh, they're not their stage persona, so they could be, like, anybody, like, I could just meet them, blah, 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 and, like, I get that's the appeal of it, too. But, yeah, it becomes, like, it might as well be coffee/reader. It gets a little much.
Yeah. I'll say me and Wooz both share this hate. I fucking hate vampire fics because they're so overdone. They're very, like, you know, high school Tumblr-esque or, like, Twilight-esque. And they're all, like, they all try and be like, this one's different, this one's a bad bitch, dark and edgy. And I'm like, but it's all the fucking same.
Yeah,
it's so depressing, because I've always loved vampire stuff, but why is so much of it so bad? Like, I couldn't even get into True Blood. I was like, I just don't, this is just no. Like, whatever the vampire thing that I want to see, it just doesn't exist, and it's really sad because I love vampire stuff, like Interview with the Vampire-esque, but, like, there's none of that.
They take the risk out, they take the danger out, and they make it like they just give them high school personalities and high school cliques, and
they just have fangs and drink blood, and that's it, and are, like, moody. That's it.
But so are teenagers, so, like, that's what they are. They're teenagers with super natural powers.
Did you guys ever hear the supposed reason why the Twilight vampires sparkle in the sun?
No, I didn't.
No.
So it was this, like, infamous fangirl who has these really screaming bad quality videos on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen her, like Nutty Madam or something. I don't know if not to call her out, but, like, she was, like, famous for just being, like, just a screaming mess all the time. And she was explaining this in one of her videos that apparently their skin is made of marble and that's why they sparkle in the sun. And I was like, okay. But if your skin was made of marble, you could not move. Like, there was so many problems with that. And I was just like, you tried to explain it? Don't even bother.
Oh my god, I just thought, I'm trying to find fanfics. I won't do this because it's like a little mean-hearted. But one time, someone on a Discord server I joined was like, look at my fanfics, I'm really proud of them. And I like read them and I like had an X out of it. And I was like, oh. And I like pretended I read them. I was like, great, fantastic, loved it.
That reminds me.
But like,
I was in like a server. This
like
is a Skype group chat, really, not a Discord server. And this girl drew like this fan art, and you know we normally commented, but we were in conversation, so she posted it while we were all conversing about something, and she flipped the fuck out, like because nobody talked about her art, and she like threw a huge
my god
fit and everything. This girl was like 13, by the way.
wow.
I think that's one of the problems with like younger folks is when they come into stuff, they're like, you know, when you're a certain age, high school age, middle school age, whatever, it's a big like you need validation like all the time, and like that I think is the main struggle of people posting their stuff online, and like why people get so just like so many feelings about some small piece of like garbage writing or whatever sometimes. And so it's like, oh well, I'm sorry that somebody told you that you weren't the best writer in the world. You have to like kind of get over it. So it's like reality check. I hope someone tells you.
I do get it because like oh my god, I'm a constant attention seeker. I can't help it. I need validation. But like also if I post something and no one like comments on it, I'm also like, okay, time to post this 12 other places where I can find the attention I deserve.
Right, like see that's fine because
it's great now.
we're just trying to share something, and if they're like, nah, like, okay. I mean, what do you think? Like, you know, people take their shit to different galleries because if they don't want to look at it, it's not any different than that, right?
I think like suddenly I feel validated by my need for validation. What a fucking
yes. There I go, like, no one wants to look at your fan art. And then I'm like, yes, Kat, you're totally right. We love everything you do. But it's true.
Thanks. Perfect.
I don't play favorites or anything.
I know when people will sometimes be like, why do you post your shit all the time? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm perfect. Like, I can't help it.
Like,
yeah.
So there are tropes that we hate. And I've said this before, but I just cannot get with the ABO stuff.
Yeah, same.
Personally, it's just kind of like, it's just, I think for me it's the, well, there's the nodding, there's the werewolf thing. I mean, like, look, okay, I can sort of get with werewolves, but, like, if you're not really dog-like, actually, like, you're not physically werewolf. That makes sense.
See, I'm on the, like, opposite side of the spectrum, because I love ABO, but, like, I also have a line. I'm not into, like, furry shit. Like you said, like, I don't like if they're, like, suddenly a fucking wolf tail popped out, and I'm like, maybe not.
You're like, whoa!
For
yeah.
me, I've read a few, like, good ABO fics, but very, very, very few, because most of them, they introduce, like, nodding, and I'm like, nope, close, like, no thank you. But most of them are, like, a wash for me.
I just kind of, I guess I'll always sort of resent the fact that I found out that nodding is a thing from fanfic. Like, I didn't know that much about dog sex, okay? Until people were like, we love to read about humans doing that. I was like, I'm 12. I don't want to know that.
I said, fuck nodding. When am I gonna get a fic with some, like, duck penises and, like, corkscrew vaginas? Like, when am I gonna get that?
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in the animal for weird shit.
Yeah, stuff where it gets, like, super furry. Or, like, oh my god, if a fic is like, I want to give them pups, I'm like, X. No, thank you.
That word. Triggered.
Yeah.
Eat a
like,
cat, okay?
I think impreg, too, is, like, a thing where, like, all agree that we don't like.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that was like I posted this really long statistic stuff about most.
Yeah.
I think AO3 did. And it was like yeah, Impregno, Omega verse no. What is it? Also like all the coercion stuff that could be its own episode though. Like all this like faux consent, like.
See,
Yeah.
This is where I actually disagree because I actually really like that stuff because I like how skeevy it is.
And you're like, ooh, yeah, make them do it.
I'm kind of in the middle where I'm not super for it, but I'm not super against it because I feel like, you know, I'm not personally a fan, but at the same time, like, if a fic writer to me is just like, listen, I know I write fucked up shit, and that's it. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. But when writers are like, no, this isn't fucked up. I promise. Listen, I've done a lot of research.
Yeah, I think for me it depends on the type too. There's like so many. That's like such a broad.
It is a very broad term
thing, but like yeah, if it's literally like, it's like there's literally the same things over and over. It's like you could do Mad Libs, you know, with a fic or a scenario, whatever they are, like, and just because I was talking about people showing no mercy and just like, okay,
yeah,
it's just like, hey, suddenly we were just talking about nothing, and then it's like violent coercion into sex time, and I'm like, nah.
Maybe not. Yeah. And then also, like, I want to say, if people have any suggestions on what they would like us to go into more in length on a topic, please let us know some way. Call me.
We're clearly veterans. We have opinions on all kinds of stuff that's out there, I'm sure.
You know, obviously, you know, I've done lots of fan fiction research.
Well, like,
do you think
is Queen Weeb, so she already has that title.
Yeah, Queen Weeb.
I did a lot of research, all caps.
A lot of research. Don't complain about it. ABT about. Okay, what other tropes do we hate? Incest, for sure.
I can deal with that as long as there are consequences. Like, if it was a realistic fic, like, I can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they introduce it and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we're brothers and we're also lovers and everything's fine. Like,
my parents are totally cool with it.
Yeah, my parents are totally
like,
cool
that's
with it.
blah blah blah, and that's so and so and his brother / boyfriend, and people are like, cool, nice to meet you.
They're like, no one's like, well, that's fucking weird.
No one is like, I gotta go.
A lot of other things.
I'm really like now on this statistic page, eating disorders is really high. Although I don't think I've really read a fic with eating disorders.
There's not a lot. I read it in Kpop though, because I get it.
Because they literally have eating disorders.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I think, like, some of the things in there, like, I've read so much fic. Like, I've read fic for, like, animes or, like, K-pop groups that I've never listened to or I've never watched the anime, but I've read a ton of fucking fic for. Like, that's how much fanfic I've read. So I'm like, I don't know, sometimes when I come across stuff that I haven't read, I'm like, how? Where are people reading these at? I don't know. There's so many things I feel like I hate, but it's, like, difficult. It's, like, not necessarily a certain trope. It's just, like, sometimes sometimes just, like, there.
It also really depends on how it's written, because, like, even a good writer can make even, like, you know, concepts that have been run into the ground pretty decent and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Like, and then also, like, I really hate when someone's a poor writer, but they have really interesting stories. Because I'm like,
yeah,
I can't read poor writing. Like, there's lots of things I can look past, because I can read past poor plot if someone writes well. Mm-hmm. But I hate when someone has a good plot, but I'm like, you just don't got it.
Yeah, the summary is like, ooh, and then you start to read it and you're like, ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
But I've read a few fics that were badly written, but like they were interesting enough or had enough charm, I guess, where I could make it through. And it was like, this, you know.
We can do
it's
this,
like a half satisfying.
Yeah, not as disappointed as I expected, just not pleased either. So.
Yeah.
That's good enough, you know.
It's so funny for me because, like, now I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm normal by any means, because I still dress fucking weird, but I'm, like, really into fashion, because I'm, like, at least it's fashionably fucking weird. But,
Right.
like,
There's a
then I feel like
reason
you could
that
look
it's
at me.
happening.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like then, though, you could, like, look at me and be like, that chick definitely has a binder full of fanfic in her fucking backpack right now.
Yeah.
Okay, have y'all found any fics that y'all want to read?
Yes, I found
Yeah.
mine.
Okay.
Same.
Alright, I think I also have found mine. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first today. Mine is pretty short. So here's the description. I posted the picture, which was just a feather and an Oscar Wilde quote. Description: in the darkness he burned with all the brilliance of a star, as beautifully incandescent as he was unobtainable. So can anybody devise what the fuck that's supposed to mean? Like,
Okay, so
No clue.
we've decided we're gonna play this fun game where we're gonna try and guess what a fic's about by the summary or by the fucking, what is that thing called? That, like, album cover, if it's like an Asian fanfic fic.
yeah.
I feel like it's like a cancer story. Like the dude is like terminally ill somehow. So he's like burning bright, but his light will go out.
I think he's a model, and like, I don't know, maybe he's about to start a good relationship, but he's got really poor impulse control and he's gonna end it.
I feel like this is a runaway from home situation for some reason.
Okay.
He's literally
He's on a
physically
road trip.
unobtainable. Yeah.
Yeah.
The police and his parents have been able to obtain him for a while. Like,
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm a wanderer. I don't stay. Really shitty stuff like that. I don't know.
as the lights go up, the roar of the crowd rivals the rising tide of music. Jae-jung can see the outpouring of energy from thousands of voices calling out in unison. I almost read that as Univision. It flows high, shimmering red with passion until it becomes drawn to the stage, drawn to Yuno, who shines brighter with each passing moment. Jae-jung watches as the man before him absorbs the vibrant passion as his own. I'm thinking of this as like a novella, and I'm like, with the phrase vibrant passion, like I'm waiting for this to suddenly become Spanish.
I was say cries in Spanish.
Castanets.
Cries in Spanish. His body becomes the music. His body becomes the music. Every movement fluid and flowing into the next. He is motion, graceful and unending. The screams only grow as he takes them all. Every single voice is pulled into him, and he is nearly glowing with the intensity of it all. He is beautiful. Jae-jung's heart pounds as he watches the other man burning with all the brilliance of a star. He wants to join in the screams, but he must continue the song's melody.
That's right.
Without it, the magnificence before him will falter. But he never takes his eyes off the figure dancing before him. The performance ebbs, but the tide of voices only continues its crescendo. As the music reaches its end, Yuno holds his position. He is endlessly captivating, even in his stillness. The lights dim, everything disappears but for the noise of the crowd. Jae-jung lives for these moments. In the darkness he can pretend. He lets himself remain trapped in the elation of the performance for as long as he can. He is enraptured. He imagines that Yuno might have watched him too, and he dares to wonder what it would be like to be held in his embrace. Despite the blackness, Yuno's light is burned into the back of his eyes. That sounds pretty bad. He should get that out.
That sounds like a medical condition your doctor definitely should be worried about.
He wants to hold on to that radiance, that earthbound starlight. He doesn't want to share it with anyone else.
Sharing is caring, though. Fuck. If there's anything I learned from preschool.
That's right. A hand grasps his arm and leads him from the choir of voices in the dark. He weaves through blackness until he emerges backstage, and the light is returned abruptly, bringing with it stark, burning clarity. Yuno turns to face him, and Jae-jung trembles in anticipation. This moment he has waited for it, yearned for it. He receives only a friendly smile, just the same as everyone else, before he is brushed aside.
Oh, wait.
He is unremarkable, lost in the swarm of colleagues and friends clamoring for a taste of his brilliance. He is Icarus, ever flying higher to be but a hair's breadth closer to the sun, and failing to realize it only gives him further to fall. He is a fool. Although he basks in the remain of his light, the darkness in his heart only grows. Its name is love. He calls it despair. Alright, so what did we learn?
Someone definitely changed the names and turned this into the creative writing teacher.
Yes. All I could think about was people call it love, but I'll be calling you. But anyway, who's responsible? Same writer.
Man, that's just
I literally just imagine Jijing standing there the whole time while a concert is going on.
I know.
Just
And,
everyone
really happy, guys.
Just staring.
the crowd just slowly goes kind of silent because they're like, isn't he supposed to be dancing or some shit? And he's just like standing, staring.
Cyborg.
I have to say, this is like one of my least favorite types of fanfiction because I hate shit that's so artsy. It's like, it sounds so pretentious. Like, and I'm sorry if anyone writes this way, but it sounds incredibly pretentious.
It's just like nothing is happening. Like,
Yes.
Thank you
There's
for
no substance.
elaborating.
Yeah.
This is
but like you could do that for a little bit only, and then move on to like something happening.
So that BAP fic I was talking about was exactly like this one, except like that BAP fic also had no plot to it whatsoever, and it would just time skip, and you wouldn't know what was happening, but things just kept happening. like nothing of value, but things just kept happening. And this was like this. This was just a bunch of words for basically Jae-jung has a crush on like that was it.
Yeah. Like, that's what I learned from this. I mean, like, and that kind of art, like that kind of writing is like incredibly valuable. It's just I don't think it is like, and like write whatever you want, of course. Like, what am I gonna fucking like tell you? But like, I just feel like it's not necessarily like the right format for a fanfic. I just like maybe focus that on poetry or something like be a Shakespeare, write a sonnet. But
oh yeah, like can you write a poem about his feelings for this person? I would be like, great, good job. Moving on. Yeah, it's not a story because nothing happens.
Yeah, I'm like a fanfic.
First grade rules. Plot. Where's your plot?
Yeah.
Not much to say because it wasn't really bad. Well, it's just not good. I don't know.
It just, it's like it's not. It doesn't fit what I feel like. Again, like fanfic has no limits or bounds. It's just personally not something I would read. Speaking of like things that like also are not like in the realm of fanfic, kind of. I have one. I want us to guess what it's going to be about. I mean, it's kind of obvious from what it is. It's just titled Epic Rap Battle: Uzumaki Naruto versus Uchiha Sasuke. The summary.
I'm ready.
2 boys, 1 winner. Let the rap battle begin.
So we're gonna guess what it is from the summary?
Yeah, please guess what that is.
So they're battling, I don't know, they're trying to impress Sakura.
Alright.
Yeah, that would be my first guess.
But then they decide that through the emotive expression of rap that they're actually meant to impress each other the whole time. And then I don't know. Then they fuck.
All right.
I have to say that's exactly what I was thinking would happen.
All right. So you're both a little right, a little wrong. It's actually just rap lyrics. No plot around it.
Oh.
So I'm gonna start out with Naruto. We started life the same, orphaned at a young age, but I was starving for love while you were feeding on hate, playing at being an Avenger while you're just plain whiny. Kill your brother hot, we all fall. Really great time for me to fuck up again. Kill your brother hot, we all saw him kick your hiney. You thought you were so powerful, made stronger by your rage, but he was master of the Sharingan at a 3rd-year age. First of all, these raps don't flow. It's really hard to fucking read.
It's fine. They rhyme.
It's a limerick, not a rap.
Listen, the title is Epic Rap Battle, alright? I hate to break it to you, buddy, but let the truth sink in. You're only alive because Itachi let you win. Sasuke. Listen to you talk, remember our first mission. I nearly lost my life so you could go on living. I could have taken Haku down, but you got in the way. It's all thanks to me that you lived to fight another day. Is it really any wonder I left Sakura and you to go and get trained by Orochimaru? Village idiots are the most powerful Sannin ever. It doesn't take a genius to know which option is better. Naruto. The most powerful Sannin. Please don't make me smile. Your master was a hippie-haired senior pedophile. He made you live.
That's a great line. That's a great
line. Where's the lie?
It's pretty good. He made you live underground in a hideout pretty shoddy, and when it comes down to it, all he wanted was your body. My master was a Sannin, a sage, and an author. Oh, and did I mention he was also my godfather? You can make fireballs, but my jutsu's even hotter. Get ready. My Rasengan's gonna blow you out the water. So we're almost done. Sasuke. So you can make a spinning ball out of air. What a laugh. At least you can dry your hair when you get out of the bath. Your shadow clones are pointless and pathetic at their best. So then what will you do? Sexy jutsu me to death? Your taijutsu is rubbish. Your ninjutsu is junk. Hero of the hidden leaf, but you're still just a punk. You haven't got a hope if you step to me. I got Sharingan, Susanoo, and Chidori. Naruto. So you've got a Kekkei Genkai and ocular jutsu. Any one of your relatives could wield it better than you do. But even with a Sharingan, the all-powerful clan still got their butts kicked by just one man. We're clan of Jinchuriki, you're just a bunch of pipsqueaks. Uzumaki beats Uchiha any day of the week. Sasuke.
Wait. Let me just say one thing. Like, imagine somebody who doesn't know anything about Naruto listens to this and they're like, oh, Kekkei Genkai, Jinchuriki, like...
Sasuke, sure you're contaminated with the nine-tailed chakra, but take that away, you're just a dumb blonde baka. You got beat up by a girl and you can't even bruise her. You always be number one knuckle-headed loser. Naruto, go ahead and laugh, but here's the truth if you receive it. One day I'm gonna be Hokage. Believe it. You know what's really sad?
It should have ended there. It should have ended there.
It should have. You know what's really sad? You're just beginning at your age. I'm younger than you, and I'm a butt-kicking sage. And that's where it ends.
Wow.
I mean, it really hooked me at Heine, and then I effectively died when they included Believe It. So that's all I can say. That was absolute poetry. I know the first one was poetic, but that was absolute poetry.
Like, honestly, if that was an episode of Epic Rap Battles of History, I'd probably watch it. Like,
yeah, absolutely. That would be, it would work for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, like, I picked this and I just skimmed it. I didn't actually read it because I kind of, like, I like to skim it so I can have, like, a full reaction, I guess, whenever I read it to y'all. But, like, it's actually shockingly fairly good. Like, I don't actually have, like, a whole lot of shit to talk about it.
Yeah, like, for what could be in there, yeah, it's pretty good.
That's sweet. It's a fun, cute little fic, like.
And, like, yeah, and, like, I like it because, like, even though it's not necessarily, like sticking, what was that fucking voice? Like, sticking by, like, the rules of a fic, like, you go into it knowing it's gonna be a rap battle, so, like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it wasn't claiming to be what it's not, which is definitely, we've said, as a peeve for all of us.
I really like your master was a hippie-haired senior pedophile.
Yeah,
that was
that was pretty
solid line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one. It's just a two-parter, so it's not super long because it's on Wattpad. You know, there's like 4 sentences per chapter. So, this one is just. I'll just share the cover. It's called Jongen Happened, and you can.
Are we gonna guess what?
Can't wait to guess.
Yeah, because I don't know either, but we'll. So this is nice and vague.
Remember that movie where like they could freeze time or something? I'm gonna think it's this.
Clock Stoppers.
Yeah, Clock Stoppers. I'm gonna think it's this, and like whatever for whatever reason when he stopped time, he ended the world, and when people ask what happened, they'll just be like, Jongen happened.
Damn. I'm gonna go really basic with this and say that it's someone who doesn't really want a relationship at that time in their lives. Which I'll have the pic up on the screen, but if you can't see, it's like a chain heart and then like a clock right in front of it. But that's what I'm gonna say is like they weren't like looking for anyone in their life, but Jongin happened.
So do you guys want me to read the quote and maybe you'll probably be able to modify what you think about it. This is the cover quote.
Yeah.
I do. Of course I love you so much. That's why I needed to do this. You don't understand. You need to do this. Do Kyung-soo, the doctor. I love you, Kyung-soo, always. Kim Jong-un, the patient.
They just call him Kim Jong-un.
No, Kim Jong-un, the patient. Sorry. I'm like,
Kim Jong-un's here, I'm suddenly way more invested.
Right, yeah.
I'm really into it now.
I still don't know. Maybe, like, okay, is this an eating disorder fic? Maybe that's what this is. Because you mentioned a doctor, right?
Yeah, Kyung-soo is the doctor in this. And
Jong-un
is, yes. He's called the doctor, and Kim Jong-un is the patient. So.
Okay, I have no clue what this is. Maybe it's like a mental hospital. And
oh, that's likely because everyone writes Jong-un as with every mental illness all together at once. So.
I'm gonna modify mine to say he's in the hospital with a terminal disease. I don't know what makes me think of terminal with every fic, but it happens.
Because it always is.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, I didn't know how to end this, so I just made the character die. I'm gonna say that he's like in the kind of the same. Is in the hospital with like a terminal illness. Doesn't want to find love because doesn't want to hurt anyone. But then he like happened to his doctor. Like he falls in love with his doctor. Or his doctor falls in love with him, and then loses him.
I'm thinking this is like Girl Interrupted. Like,
I love that.
Jong-un is like Angelina Jolie's character, and then Kyung-soo is just some random doctor who got introduced.
Kyung-soo is Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah,
like I
oh
would.
My God, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. That's the worst thing I've ever said. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
let
ready.
me sip something. All right. Chapter 1. Kyung-soo is a doctor. He was on his way home from a medical mission when he saw an accident. It was a curved road. Right.
Is he a Christian doctor?
So exciting, right? Oh my God, he could be. It was a curved road, and the car was crashed badly on the big rock formation. He quickly got out of his car and went over to the other car. He saw a guy severely hurt. He pictured out the situation on how he would be able to get out the man inside the crashed car.
Get out the man.
But it's too complicated. This is italicized, so I'm assuming this is what he's thinking. It's too complicated to save this.
Being a doctor is really hard. I can't believe I went through medical school for all these years.
Being a doctor is that math problem meme, so can't do it.
What is he thinking?
He quickly called for a rescue team. It's a good thing that the hospital is 25 minutes from the location.
They couldn't just say nearby. They had to give you like the exact time it takes to arrive from there.
Yeah, so maybe the research lost. Yeah.
Be like, the movie got out at exactly 7 p.m.
Yeah. They rushed him in, and Kyung-soo quickly went to change into his lab gown and perform the operation. What operation? I don't know.
What's wrong with him?
Perform it in the middle of the highway.
I thought it was too complicated to get him out. How is he suddenly out?
Oh, we called the rescue team.
Okay. He found the motivation to do it, to continue his line of work.
It was a close fight between life and death, but they saved the poor man. Dr. Do, I'm Officer Park. May we interview you for the case report? And Kyung-soo just nodded. Such good writing. He told everything from the start, what might happen, the case of the car, and the position of the man, everything, including the time of the incident and the time they got to the hospital.
Have these people ever interviewed the doctors from these accidents?
I guess because he's like a first responder, so maybe.
But it's too complicated.
It's too complicated. Listen, I'm sorry. I brought too much logic into that, fucking conversation. Continue.
Oh boy, it's gonna heat up, guys. The officer handed him the patient's belongings. We've searched for the phone, but there is none. The only thing he has are his wallet, broken watch, and some engagement ring.
Oh.
Just looking at it. And he took the Ziploc bag from Officer Park. If you don't mind, may I ask how's the patient?
If I was the patient.
Unstable. A lot of blood has lost in his body. His right foot was severely twisted.
It's just lost. We don't know what happened to it.
Listen, he went to medical school, not to grammar school. People, give him a break.
Finding Jung-in's blood in the sequel. His right foot was severely twisted due to the collision, and his head is badly injured. The officer then nodded and stood up. That's a normal, natural reaction. Thank you for your time. We'll be updating you to the case and probably be back if the patient's already awake. Oh, please update me. I needed information too. They shook hands. Good night.
You know what
Wait, what?
out of one of these
Why would
fics? Oh, you go first, Kat.
Oh, I was just gonna say, sorry, why would the cops be updating the doctor of the patient's condition? The doctor is looking over the... I'm just... Plot hole. Anyways, continue.
I guess just about foul play.
What I was going to say
Maybe.
about these fics, they never have one of these things happen where like one of the victim's face gets really fucked up, and they're like, oh, what if I,
of course
let's not
not
deal with that. Let's make sure he's still pretty.
Oh, have to.
Yeah. How do you love someone if they're not pretty?
Exactly.
Come on.
I can't think of it. Kyung-soo sat in his chair inside his office, scanning the person's belongings. Okay, I guess he's just looking at them. And I was like, he has a machine? What's going on? I mean, I don't know. It's complicated. He reached out for the wallet and opened it. Cash, license, ID, and he noticed the picture. He remembered what the officer said. This must be his fiancée. That line's news to us. He took out the man's ID, Kim Jong-in. He stared at the picture of the couple. If my presumptions are correct, the girl broke off with this guy when he was just about to propose. That's why he crashed his car to that rock.
So wait,
how would you?
They just said it was an accident. Like there was no indication.
Where's the girl? If that happened, where's the girl? Or was he like an asshole and trying to propose over the phone? Like.
Yeah, also, how does a cop know this?
Also, like, why would he be like...
he's presuming this. That's quite a presumption, officer.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shoot, she said no. Time to fucking crash into this formation.
Said no, and he's gonna kill himself. Like, okay, officer?
Yeah.
And he sighed, feeling sympathetic towards the patient. Not because he crashed and he's broke as fuck. Because his fiancée broke up with him. That's why he's feeling sympathetic.
He's like, you have a hard road to recovery ahead of you, but like, fuck, you don't even have anyone to help you with that road to recovery. Now I'm sad.
Me, I can be your rebound doctor.
Like, yeah. Ooh, maybe that's it.
What a lost soul he is. It was a week or so since the patient was operated. Kyung-soo was confused because no one visits the poor guy, so he volunteered to visit.
Volunteered? Like there was a sign-up list who's gonna visit the poor lonely fuck in
also, like, volunteered to visit. Isn't he his doctor? He's like obligated to be there. You don't have to.
Maybe he's not his doctor, but like, why wouldn't he be? Anyway.
And, yeah, he operated on him, apparently.
So he exactly. He volunteered to visit and talk to him every night after a shift in hopes of waking the patient up. Dr. Doe, the patient is now awake. He quickly went, no. Dr. Doe, the patient is now awake. Again, it doesn't say who said that. But he quickly went to Jung-in's room. He's feeling anxious and excited to see him awake. He saw a confused Jung-in. We have a problem, Doc. He motioned to the nurse to come forward and whispered it to him. He doesn't remember what happened. Bam! He came closer to the patient. I'm Dr. Doe. Do you know who you are? Yes. What do you think of me? I'm Kim Jong-in, he bluntly answered. Kyung-soo was surprised and looked at the nurse. Doc, he doesn't remember the incident. Then Kyung-soo realized that this man might be suffering from a short-term memory loss. Okay, Mr. Kim Jong-in, may I ask you some more questions? Kyung-soo wanted to make sure of this theory. Do you know why you are here? The last time I remembered was when I celebrated my 21st birthday. I was at a bar with some friends, and I don't know what happened next. And he held on to his head. Kyung-soo was alarmed. Does it hurt? For fuck's sake.
I love that he's like, he doesn't remember anything about the accident. It's like, time to tell him his fiancé rejected him, or his girlfriend rejected his proposal.
Yes, and also the fact that he's like, oh no, he's touching his head. Does it hurt?
Does it hurt?
He's been like... in a coma. Anyway. Jung-in nodded. Okay, it's best that you will just rest. We'll resume this session after we confirmed your situation.
He's now his therapist and like...
He turned around. Give him some sleeping pills and come to my office after.
Why would you give a concussed guy sleeping pills? He's just...
This is like how not to be a doctor or policeman or a person. Doctor, that's beyond your work. You're disobeying the hospital's law. I know, but what can I do? I just can't abandon someone who doesn't remember his present. I can't and will never abandon my patient, Kyung-soo firmly said.
Just the patient is this guy, though. He's gonna abandon all the other ones. He doesn't give a shit about them.
Exactly. His ever-trusted nurse, Sehun, just sighed. Okay, doc, I know I can't stop you.
Okay.
Where are you?
The conflict is resolved.
Right. Where are we? At my house. You'll be staying here since your body is stable already. But...
Your body is stable.
Of course they took him to his house to stay there for no reason and breaking the hospital's law. But why? See, he doesn't want to, but why? Can't I just stay at the hospital? Do you want to? In your condition, it's better that you stay in a house to get the ambiance and not in the hospital.
It's not better.
What is that mean?
Okay.
To get the ambiance.
Kyung-soo is a serial killer, alright?
Yeah. It would be redeemable, but at this point. So you think I will remember something if I stay here? Of course, cue the post-it notes, right? Maybe yes, maybe no. Depends on you. If you want to remember something, you'll remember it. But if you wanted to forget your past, then it will happen.
I really love these choices. Like, listen, you could stay in the hospital with 24/7 staff, anyone to get to your needs. Like, we have all the care. We're not quite sure of your condition, so if anything happens, you'll be good. Or your house.
Yeah.
Fucking, like,
no pressure, but it's probably best for you.
Wait, did he stay at his own house, or did he stay at Kyung-soo's house?
He's staying at Kyung-soo's house.
That's ridiculous. Kyung-soo is a fucking serial killer, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why he said, where are we? And he said, at my house, you'll be staying here.
Oh, at my house, you'll be staying here.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a little offended my doctor's never offered me to stay at his place, to be honest now.
Yeah. Kyung-soo decided to keep Jong-in while he has a memory loss. He tried his best to locate and contact the relatives, but nobody's answering. Also, he doesn't want Jong-in to live by himself because he knows that his condition might be worse than it is.
Oh my God. So he didn't let him stay at the hospital?
No, it's worse than it is, but it's not bad enough to stay at the hospital. I know, stay at my house. You don't have anyone to look after you, so... It's been months since Jong-in stayed at Kyung-soo's house. He had no problem with it. Someone call the doctor! Doc, please help me! I just wanted to quote overdose, okay? Don't even lie. Kyung-soo bursted out from the door. What is it, Jong-in? Are you alright? Then he came closer and held Jong-in's face. Jong-in just smirked. I need some checkup because I think I'm overdosed to a drug named
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he swatted Jong-in's head. You almost gave me a heart attack. Arg, you stupid Jong-in.
Is he a pirate now?
And he was about to walk out, pissed off, when Jong-in back-hugged him.
It's always
back-hug him.
Sue, Kyung-soo shivered at the tone. Jong-in. Jong-in kissed Kyung-soo's neck, giving him pecks and hickeys. The doctor lightly moaned. He faced Kyung-soo to him and looked in his eyes. Cure me, doc. Cure me, Kyung-soo. And their lips met. Jong-in, he gasped as Jong-in pushed him so gently onto the bed. I want to taste all of you. I'm an addict, addicted to you, Sue. And he bit Kyung-soo's earlobe. Kyung-soo giggled. You know I'm ticklish, right? Kyung-soo unbuttoned the doctor's polo and removed his shirt. He licked Kyung-soo's collarbone down to his nipples, making the other moan.
Wait,
I didn't know this was mature. Yes, and yes. He was wearing a polo shirt.
So he saw it fit to unbutton it. The two buttons that are there.
Yeah, just before moving it. Kyung-soo snaked his hands to Jong-in's back down to his ass. Sue, Jong-in growled. Then he kissed Kyung-soo on the lips while removing down both their pants. When they are both naked, Kyung-soo pulled out the lube and squeezed in a right amount of gel. He made Jong-in lay down on the bed and he started to stroke it. Oh, so this, by the way, did not have any kind of content warning, so this is, I did not know this was happening. Oh, Sue. So shit. That's what it says. So shit. He held onto Kyung-soo's hand and guided up and down, making it a one hard monster.
Oh, great.
It was in italics too, by the way. I don't. Do you want me to suck you off? No, I want to come inside you, Jongin replied. So Kyungsoo stopped the stroking and prep his hole. Ready, he asked, looking intently into Jongin's eyes. The patient, which was in quotes, just nodded. He got on top of Jongin and positioned his hole. He slowly inserted Jongin's pet into him. I don't know what that means. Jongin was just looking at his doctor, memorizing his reaction. Kyungsoo was having a hard time putting it all inside because, dude, Jongin is just not small inside.
Dude.
It literally says, dude. To Jongin, then Jongin wiped the tear on Kyungsoo's left cheek. Do you want me to do it instead? Jongin asked, concerned. No, I want to do it. He bit his lip and started to move slowly, adjusting to Jongin's size. Could keep stuttering every single line. Could keep going. You're doing good, baby, Jongin said while soothing Kyungsoo's back. Kyungsoo started to quicken his pace. The sloppy sound are visibly heard throughout the room.
Visibly heard.
Jongin, ha. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Sweats are trickling down his face as he bounced up and down just to cure his patient. Pleasure me more, Sue. Harder, baby. Oh, Jongin, Fuck. He held onto Jongin's shoulder for support. He kissed him on the lips. Sue, you're beautiful, so divine, Jongin said as he watched Kyungsoo thrust in him hard while biting his lips. Jongin reached out for Kyungsoo's pet and stroked it hard and fast.
Is that pet like P-E-T?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Kyungsoo gently, I guess, no, you're petting your pet. I don't know. Kyungsoo gently hit Jongin's chest. I want to come, please. Jongin pecked his lips. Together, okay? Kyungsoo bounced on top, fast and deep, while Jongin stroked it real quick and hard. Ugh, Susu. Kyungsoo fell on Jongin's chest, hearing his heartbeat. I love you, Dr. Doe. And then time skip.
Y'all fuck what you still a doctor.
No, Jongin, we'll be doing mnemonics. It'll help your memory to... What if I don't want to remember it anymore? Kyungsoo was taken aback from what Jongin have said. Well, what? What if I don't want to remember my past anymore? And he held Kyungsoo's hand. What if I wanted to stay like this? Kyungsoo, I'm happy with you. I don't need my past anymore when I can live my present and future with you. Jongin, you need to remember it. So sick of this stuttering. Kyungsoo, you complete my life. I don't need that bullshit. So please, stop lingering at the past and let's create our future together. But Jongin, she wants you back. Who's she? Tanya, your fiance.
Tanya. I hate when fics do that, but it's so fucking funny when they're like, set in Korea, all Korean people, and then they're also like,
Michelle.
yeah, I'm like, okay, if they're like, oh, she just moved to Korea from America, I'm like, okay, that's obvious, but they're like, Korean-born Sarah. I'm like,
No.
like.
And Kyungsoo shoved away Jongin's hands. You need to remember her because... No, Kyungsoo, listen to me. And he faced him. I don't need her. I need you. And besides, you promised that you would stop on searching for my past. So why? Why are you doing this? Jongin, please understand. I did it for you. Tanya, she needs you. So you need to come back and marry her. No, Kyungsoo, you fucking listen to me. I don't love her anymore. I love you so much. Kyungsoo, don't you love me? I do. Of course I love you so much. That's why I needed to do this. You don't understand. You need to do this. Then make me understand. Damn it. Kyungsoo was crying on bended knees. Jongin left wide and suddenly
affected by this.
he just falls to the ground. Jongin, she needs you. And he grabbed Jongin's leg, pleading, both of them needs you, Tanya and your baby.
Oh, snap.
Damn.
Jongin was dumbfounded. Shocked was literally shown on his face. Well, what? What did you just said? You're a father, Jongin. I saw the DNA result.
How did he have access to this?
He somehow knows her, and Tanya's son is yours. And Kyungsoo shouted a cry. Please, Jungin, marry her. I'm begging you. I don't understand. And Jungin bowed down his head. Is that really what you want me to do, huh, Kyungsoo? If you really love me, you'll marry her. I know you understand. You will understand. Yes or no? Answer me, Kyungsoo, Jungin shouted. Yes.
Someone needs. Okay, honestly, at this point, he has a speech impediment.
No, yeah, like every time I see stutters in fics, I just think of Rick and Morty, and it suddenly becomes a lot funnier.
Yeah.
I love you, Kyungsoo, always. And without looking back, Jungin left Kyungsoo crying on the floor.
Wow, what a beautiful ending.
Yeah. Oh, kid-like smile, soulful eyes, full lips, tan skin. No context.
Great.
He's happy. He's okay. He's fine without me. I know I broke him, but I broke myself as well. I let him be my life, even though it's only temporary. He's only temporary. Damn.
He's only temporary.
Yeah.
So
I borrowed him and took advantage of his condition, but I never regret anything because I know Jongin happened.
So cute.
I just want to say, they made us go through all that bullshit writing, and they still didn't end up together at the end.
Yeah.
Pissed.
I'm just saying, Kyungsoo is like a fucking sociopath in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like, what was the point of any of that?
Yeah, honestly.
Him, like, you don't need to remember your past. And then he's like, I'm done. We had sex and stuff, and it was fine, but you know what? You have a child, and so you should remember
He's probably
them.
trying to get this guy the fuck out of his house. Like, Jongin has probably been freeloading there and paying him fucking nothing.
Honestly, too, he's like, right after they had sex, he's like, alright, time to get this fucker out.
But at least Jongin has happened.
Jongin happened.
At least, Jongin happened, at least, yeah. You know, it's the only good thing I have to say about that.
You guys are right, though. Wattpad really is low-hanging fruit.
It's so fucking easy, just because, like, I'm sorry to anyone who writes on Wattpad, but everything on Wattpad is pretty bad.
I came across this account that had literally just self-inserts and different scenarios with different idols and different, like, backdrops, and, like, where nothing actually happens, and it's just, shameless characters, and one of them is called Harley Jongin, about her and Jongin and their child, but actually he's a single father, and it was wild. It was just, there were all these names. Here, I'll just read the name list for the characters in this story, because that was the best part. Kim Jongin as himself, Brittany as Brittany Lee, Harley as Harley Jongin. Yes.
Could be people in real life, like her actual friends.
Yeah, I think her friends, yeah. So I'm like, Harley as Harley Jongin, as if that was like his last name. Sierra as Nirvana.
Oh my god.
Barbie for as Lily Do. Park Chan-yeol as himself. Bae.do as Rengi Park. Do Kyung-soo as himself. Lee Tae-min as himself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm trying to think, but I've never really read many self-inserts. But I'm trying to think, like,
is it, I guess it would be considered self-insert, not reader. I was like, why am I mixing that up? But yeah, this was a good one. This was a good excerpt.
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
Hello.
Oh, read the names list to Kat, because that's amazing. So, Kat, there was, like, this self-insert fic with, like, these ridiculous names that Miyuki found.
I'm ready.
Oh, do you want me to read them off again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so, clearly these are her friends, so, like, Kim Jongin as himself, Brittany as Brittany Lee, Harley as Harley Jongin.
That's his last name.
They got confused there. Sierra as Nirvana, Barbie as Lily Do, Park Chan-yeol as himself, Bae.do as Rengi Park, Do Kyung-soo as himself, Lee Tae-min as himself. And literally, it's actually just a story about Jongin as a single dad with a mixed child, and all of it's like baby talk, like "Okay, Appa."
Oh my god.
Thank you, Appa. Look, Grandma, that made me pretty. And like,
oh my god. I'm not into it.
there was one part. Oh, this is the best part "Well, I'll see you around, Kai," she said and walked away. "That ass," I muttered and hardly gasped. "Ooh, Appa, that's $1 in the swear jar."
So are they in Korea or the United States?
I don't know. Because clearly that's also a Korean tradition. Swear jar.
That ass.
To the exchange office to get $1 for the swear jar.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. "Uncle Chanyeol," Harley yelled and ran over to Chanyeol as he entered the house. Yelled at Chico from the kitchen, and I figured he got into the trash.
I love how it's Appa, but we couldn't look up the Korean word for uncle.
Right.
I'm just saying, a little bit of a plot hole. Okay, I'm gonna...
Ms. Duncan, so...
What are, like, literary things? Not necessarily tropes, but, like, literary things y'all hate when you look at fics?
Well, the orbs thing
like,
you mentioned, I fucking hate.
God, I've mentioned this on the Lost episode, you know? But I fucking hate when people do that your name, your eyes, like, reader insert shit. Because it just takes me, like, it takes me out of the story, and I hate it so much.
I hate ... so I hate ellipses. And
I'm not...
if people use them that in, like, sparingly, then obviously I don't notice, because I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense why you would use it there. But yeah, people are just, like, everything is, like, so deep that way, you know, like, they're like, yeah, he was really introspective, you could tell by all the ellipses I spammed.
Yeah. You can tell how hard he was thinking on that shit. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I just hate adjectives, like, unnecessarily added to things, but also, like, senses that are unnecessarily, like, modified. Like, I have this Naruto fanfic pulled up right now that I'm not sure if I want to read for this episode or not. But it was, like, he's talking about he smelled her sadness. That's just not a thing.
So... you know where it is a thing? So there's this video game, I don't know if you guys have heard, it's like Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters or something. It is an absolutely crazy but fun game where literally in many situations you can you have an emotion action wheel, and for every single sense you can do that sense like paired with the emotion. So it'll be like love sniff, or like love taste, or something like that. And so like the characters will react to you like licking them essentially, or like smelling them in a way that is like trying to exactly, or just like sometimes there's like sadness. So I would just do the weirdest combinations. Like I would do a sadness sniff, and they would be like, "Okay, are you crying?" It's so weird.
I think the recorder
crashed. That sounds weird. Okay.
And we're back.
It's okay. We know we're gonna have pickups, so it's not an issue. We're like trying to figure it out. I also really, really hate when things go 0 to 60. Like it's okay in certain things, but like I hate when people like will write like OC like one shots with like a character. And then, like, every single one-shot they write that's in that series is, like, they meet someone and immediately bone at the end of it. I like some time progression. So, I'm, like, that's a big pet peeve for me as well.
On a basic level, it's not that hard to, like, not do that 0 to 60 in, like, 4 paragraphs.
Yeah.
So, I actually disagree. I think I can deal with 0 to 60 pretty easily. I don't mind whether it's slow burn or not. But it really depends on the context. Like context.
I think for me, usually the 0 to 60 is poorly written, which is like part of the battle too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes if something is poorly written but is interesting enough, I'll just do it anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's like, I don't know, good to all have different opinions, because like obviously we're not going to feel the same on everything.
Yeah.
Like no one's going to love no one's going to love a Megaverse like me. That's like fucking fine or whatever, I guess.
It's fine.
It's like, fine, I will just fucking hate myself, but it's fine.
It's okay.
Y'all have read a lot more than me from what you say, and I was curious about how y'all feel about Zombieverse. Like, what are your impressions and experience with Zombieverse? Because
all of mine have been really good. I can only remember reading 2 zombie fics. One was for Batman, and that was actually one of the best ones I've ever read. I think it's called Teeth in the Grass, it was named after a song, and that fic alone got me into the band. Like, I'm not even kidding. But there's another one for BAP. I can't remember what the ship was. It was either Him-chan and Jungkook, or it was Jungkook and Zello. But it was, it was pretty good.
And so were, like, any of these really good ones, were they a character was a zombie?
No.
Or was it just set in a zombie apocalypse? Okay. Because that is, like, for whatever reason, what I think of. I'm like, oh, a character's a zombie. Like, if somebody could do that really well, I actually would want to read that, because it's kind of gross, but I'm like, in a kind of way that I might appreciate if it was written well enough. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I haven't. Like, I haven't really seen that.
I definitely have read, like, cannibal ones that I've really liked, but that's not necessarily the same.
Wait, which one of you... Oh, sorry, Wooz, go ahead.
I was going to say, I haven't seen that, but I've seen another, again, it's a BAP one, where I think Jungkook is a necrophiliac, and he, like, breaks into... I can't remember if it was Jungkook or Zello, but they break into, like, a morgue or something like that. It was ridiculous. I think I'm going to read that next episode.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. I'm like, I haven't read any bad zombie fics. Like, I haven't gone too into them, but like, I actually, like, a lot of people hate them, but I don't know. I see
that, but
yeah, I don't know. A lot of people say they're overdone, but I actually don't find them that often.
Yeah,
personally.
Same. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I think if you see zombies are overdone in, like, American media, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But,
for
like,
sure.
in fic, I don't see it yet. So
might be our fandom too, like, because K-pop, that's not going to be a thing that's really around that often.
Even like anime, like I read a ton of different like fandom like I wouldn't even say like Harry Potter anime. Like I don't ever like I you know what I will say the only fandom I've read a lot of zombie fic in is like the fucking Walking Dead fandom.
Well, yeah, because yeah.
Yeah,
although you have to wonder,
surprised
because it's like, wouldn't that be like, at some point it's like, what's the point of fanfic if it's too close?
Yeah,
unless you have really harsh limitations or whatever, because like idol fandom, it's like nobody is allowed to date, that's a thing, so it makes sense for it to be super simple and in ways like that. There's a lot of things that like you can't do, so thus fanfic. But if it's like the same premise, it's like okay. Yeah. Although if you're a good writer, it doesn't matter, of course. It's how similar it is to the show, because you're like, oh my god, that was even better than this episode or whatever. That can happen.
Yeah. I've read, like, I think when I first started reading fanfiction, I mainly read where it was, like, very similar to the show, and it just, this character added, like, a little bit of difference, and it was, like, rereading the episodes again. But at the same time, like, the stuff I was reading in the fanfiction for, I had, like, I had loved, like, the, whatever it was, like, anime or movie or show so much, then I'm like, I don't mind going back over the episodes.
Yeah, you just, like, want more of it or whatever.
Yeah, I just want more, or like a continuation of it, which is like what I like originally used to explain fanfic to people. I'd be like, oh, well, you know, like you ever like really love something and then like it just ended, or it's like that was it. And like fanfiction is just like kind of another way to delve back into that fandom that you love, or like that you,
especially like if it's all it is just like this character that didn't get enough backstory or time, and like.
Did you mean the Irish kid? You mean the Irish kid from Titanic?
No, I haven't seen that.
You've never seen Titanic?
No, I mean I haven't seen the Irish. There isn't one, like, but there isn't a fic of that, or there is?
No, there is. There's like the Irish.
Okay, because I was like, you were obviously referring to something really specific that I haven't seen around.
There's like an Irish kid who gets shot in the stomach, like whenever they're like vexing the ship. I think his name's Tommy. It might be wrong, but I was super into him whenever I watched that movie, and I'd look at fanfic about him all day.
Oh my gosh, that's a good point. Yeah, when these like side characters, like, you know, that's kind of a thing. Like I was looking at the anthropomorphic tag because I was really like intrigued about like what could happen, and a lot of it was just ships between inanimate objects, which was cool because they were a lot of really funny examples, but I was really hoping for like an object that was within a fandom that was well known. There were just too many pages, so unfortunately I don't have those to share, but I won't totally give up because that's fair.
I see that you found it, Wooz, this necrophiliac thing.
Now in my Google search history is Younguk necrophilia, so...
I like their explanation as an attraction to a corpse.
I just can't wait for Google to send me related ads to my searches. I'm wondering what's going to come up.
Yeah, I'm definitely not in an incognito window. Oops.
I'm not even.
I don't, like, I've searched up enough weird shit anymore that I'm like, it doesn't even matter.
Oh well, U.S. government.
That's fine.
Like,
send me to the firing squad.
Necrophiliac. Yeah. I think, like, I feel like fics with weird shit can be really interesting if they're well written, but, like, what do y'all think is probably, like, I know Miyuki, you like, don't have, like, as much, like, experience in the fic world. Hopefully you'll get some more experience through this series, but
absolutely, there's already a few things that I've not seen in this. I have. Now I have.
What do you guys think is the weirdest fic premise, or just, like, fic in general that you've read or heard of?
In the last episode, you were talking about, like, the DDLG, Daddy Dumb Little Girl shit. Like, any of that, I feel like it's gone too far. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, really any of that takes it to the extreme. And yeah, somebody mentioned, like, actually taking care of them like they were a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, for me, because I, like, have seen blogs and folks talking about, like, living their lifestyle like that doesn't bother me. Again, I was like, in the last episode I was talking about how it bothers me that people who don't understand what is it just become a ubiquitous way to call you, like, your boyfriend, and that's what, like, squicks me out, because I'm like, y'all are referencing something that you don't know. That's like if somebody was, like, saying, like, they were yiffing, but they weren't a furry, like, that just became a new word for it in general. I'd be like, you don't know what you're referring to.
Like, me? Yeah. I really feel bad for stuff like that. Like, whenever I said this, like, the last episode.
Just not got that referring.
Like, the last episode, like, fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh, like, whenever people say it to, like, non-English speaking celebrities, and they're like, they call them daddy, and they may not like understand necessarily, like, what that means, or, like, what they're referring to, or even just, like, it's, like, not, I feel like it's pretty not okay to, like, actually call someone that to their face, like, it's like a celebrity, like, they're still a person, you know?
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, even, like, any kind of, like, a lot of sexualizing stuff, like, it's now that idols are a lot more accessible, I think it's, like, everyone needs to take a step back. Like, before it was, like, a safe space to, like, say stuff that you wanted to, like, share your feelings, however, you know, like, not safe for work they were or whatever, but, like, now they can read your shit. And apparently, like, you know, that one idol, who was it that was, like, gonna sue? IU. Some guy said stuff about her in a video or something and talked about his sexual attraction to her, and she was trying to sue him. So it's like, I can't say stuff so freely, unfortunately, anymore, but yeah, it's also just like, there's one thing to, like, have your space for it, and another thing to, like, blatantly think it's funny to, like, bring it up directly to them and just be like, think about if that was a stranger, that would be disgusting. You would be disgusted, so, like, don't. That's what you are, by the way, a stranger.
We all Miyuki, how long have you been, like, on the NCT Discord?
Since it says since February. I actually was, like, I joined in, like, August. I joined the EXO cord for a while, the old one. And then it's, like, not active anymore, and I just kind of stopped using Discord for a while, and then in February I came back.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
I didn't mean to, like, cut Miyuki off if that's what I did. I just,
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, because, like, I remember I kind of took, like, a hiatus, and then I was like, oh, this new person is chilling back. were you guys, you might not have been there, but I think in January, in Wooz, I don't know if you were active, but we were talking about the bathrooms in New York's Koreatown. People just write, like, shit about idols in there. Like, it's hella embarrassing. But I was gonna say, one of the things says, I want to shove Baekhyun's light stick up my asshole and turn it on so it, like, flashes. And, like, so I was gonna just make the reference. I'd be like, everyone knows, like, if you want to talk about someone is actually in a safe space, just like, write it in the Koreatown bathroom stalls.
That's amazing. No, I wasn't this time. That's crazy.
I mean, if you're a male fan, maybe don't, though, because, like, just Winter shot their music video there, and I'm like, people go there.
Yeah. But yeah, you can just, if anyone's interested, you can always just look up Koreatown bathroom on Twitter, and people take pictures of it all the time. It's
that's my next plan.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. I'll insert some pictures somewhere on the screen for people to watch on YouTube, and like actively or somehow watching. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's hella embarrassing though. Like, it makes me not want to like K-pop. Like, please don't think we're all like this.
Well,
like that was that line chat that I joined. Like, not like I'm exposing everything now, but like, that was like one of the first things someone said, and I'm not gonna like call them specifically out, but it was really just them, and they just like went off, and I was like, okay, let's not. I feel like I don't know. I used to be like, I don't know, more of that kind of a fan, hard stan, as they say. But like, really, lately, I'm such a soft stan that I can't even like read stuff about like, it was like an older person talking about an older idol, and I'm still like, ah! I'm like age reverted. I don't know how old I am, but
because I was talking to somebody else about this a while ago, but with like weebs. They've grown up, you know? Like, I was a weeb when I was 12, and now I'm in my 20s. So we grew up and we kind of learned, like, what's not okay. But in comparison, even though K-pop's been around and there were fans, like, earlier, for the most part, it's really starting to grow now, you know? Because it's...
it's a lot of new fans.
So,
well, because, like, in a lot of K-pop fans that are even young, like, they're coming from, like, One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer fandom or something, and no one in those fandoms is telling anyone what they shouldn't say. I don't think.
Yeah. I would say, like, you know, like, kind of like to relate it back. What?
Oh, I was going to say, like, it's also the foreign aspect of it, because, you know, like, people Korea boost trying to speak Korean and stuff, and, like, it's
Do you know 안녕하세요?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's like, there's also such a big cultural difference. Like, it's just, and people don't even like. I mean, you don't have to know that much to know that like South Korea's kind of conservative, guys. You can't. They're not just like these Korean fans aren't really just talking the same as you. Like you, there's different priorities and all that kind of stuff. And so like, no, if you learn Korean and you go talk to a fangirl and you say like, I want to bathe in some kind of inappropriate fluid. They're not going to be like, yeah, me too. Chances are, just like to put that
they're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But
they're
politely.
Like, yeah. I mean, honestly, even I would be like, that is like, I just met you. That's really. We don't know each other and trust each other with our deepest, darkest fantasies yet. Like, let's slow down.
Hey, I just met you. This is crazy, but back the fuck off. I think, like, relating to kind of what Toulouse said, like, I would agree, like, you know, like, a lot of anime fans, like, not that there's not newer ones, because there's newer anime fans all the time, but, like, a lot of anime fans are like, oh, I watched, like, Pokemon, or I watched, like, Sailor Moon, and that kind of got me into it, and I've kind of been watching then, but, like, you don't have a lot of K-pop stans that, like, unless they're, like, older stans, they're like, oh, yeah, I watched, I was a Cassiopeia, and I watched TVXQ, or they're like, you know, you don't have, like, a ton of that, or a lot of people who are like, oh, I've been a fan since like 2009, like Lucifer, Shiny.
Yeah.
So,
like, I find them and I'm like, oh, my people, but it's still like rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I guess I feel that way all the time, because I am one of those. Like, literally, like, I my first J-pop person, because I was mostly into J-pop, was BoA, so I was like...
Ooh, same.
It was like
girl.
K-pop adjacent, right? I was already... So that was half my life ago. So I'm like, I'm not new to this, although I didn't really... Like, that's the thing, it's like, still K-pop fandom feels semi-new to me just because I didn't really... I mean, I semi-stand Super Junior with my friends, but I didn't know a lot of different, like... K-pop fan stuff until I was standing EXO, and they were like the center of my like life. So I actually then knew, I started to learn like different things about like South Korean culture and like K-pop fandom and like what K-pop fans are like. Because before that, I just didn't know those things and didn't know like the places to go. Like I wasn't really super into it. Like that makes sense. So I mean, that's why I say all the time, like I didn't actually know what like an oppa was until like I knew what a Nuna was when Replay came out, because I was so not attuned to all like little things, and that's like so nuts, but it's true.
But at the same time, yeah, whenever that stuff was coming out, like it wasn't as prevalent online as like is now. Like now you can just look up that shit.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, that's pretty interesting, because I'm a more recent fan of K-pop. I got in after 2010. I got in actually like 2013. So I was pretty late to the party. Yeah. Because like, but I was a weeb, I'm a reformed weeb, I guess.
How reformed if you have won that quiz? No.
That fucking opening theme song. Actually, you know what? I won. Thank you.
Yep.
I just want to say, I weeb. I knew more anime opening songs.
Wait, Kat, how did you get into K-pop?
Okay. K-pop, I got into it originally around like 2008, 2009. Okay. With like G and Lucifer. Because I remember like a lot of people, like my first experience was probably G. And I remember like, it's funny now because I hate to admit this, I am not a huge Girls' Generation fan. And it's not that I hate Girls' Generation. I like their music. I always joke and say I'm an SNSD anti. But I hate the fandom a lot because... Especially, like, the places where I've gotten my K-pop news and stuff like that, they're, like, super into SNSD, and they're like, oh, they have the best songs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you
are a sinner. You need to go to hell if you aren't shipping up their ass.
Yeah. And, like, and, like, I would agree they have a lot of songs. They have a lot of, like, high-quality songs. But I'm like, just because you were the first to do it, doesn't mean you're, like, the best to do it.
And they're, like, and it's also, like, were you? Because... everything has a predecessor, like you could just kind of go back so many levels of
sequel or like what is that other girl?
SES Baby Vox.
Yeah, Vox. Is that
Baby Vox.
My crazy? Baby Vox.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I like fell out of it. And I remember being such a huge Shawwall, however you say it. I love SHINee so much. And then I fell out of it in like 2011, and then like 2015 is like when I picked it back up again with like 17 and all that. So it's kind of been my brief K-pop history.
Yeah. I remember my first like inkling of it was again when I got into J-pop, and like I think my friend brought a Shinhwa CD to school.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "What's that?" And then, so I remember when one of the really early K-pop songs I heard or saw a video was T.O.P., which is still one of my favorite songs. Problematic fave because of the N-word, but anyways, it's a masterpiece still. And like I remember being like, "Oh my god, who is that?"
For them,
yeah,
whoever wrote that
fire.
They're probably like, "Oh yeah, this is great. I don't really know what that means." So.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, I hear this all the time in the song, American." That's all. Yeah. So I'm not like you were trying to be offensive, obviously, but yeah, ignorance. And now you can't get away with that. But yeah, I remember being like, "Who is that with the blonde center part?" Because I was a big, BSB fan. I mean, like, that's really where it all comes from, because I was, like, a semi-weeb, that's true, but I really, like, I remember being into, Backstreet Boys when I was, like, as soon as I knew what the hell was going on, like, that Boys Were thing, I was like, Backstreet Boys, those are the boys I want. And like being obsessed and like buying all their shit and like buying all the magazines and like it just never stopped. It still has not stopped. That's just what I do with my life. Sad. But true.
I would agree though. I think like a lot of K-pop fans can either trace their roots back to like, you know, liking anime or like being into like, you know, the newer ones. A lot of them can trace back to like being in a One Direction or like you said 5 Seconds of Summer or like
even Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Boys and NSYNC or Boys to Men even. Like, you know.
Yeah.
What's that other one?
I'll mad respect if someone's out there. Yeah, I got to New Kids on the Block.
Oh,
and
New Kids
now,
on the Block.
like, yes!
Yeah. So,
but for me, like, I've always jumped ship on fandoms constantly. Like, I have, like, fandoms in my rotation, I guess. And I just kind of lose interest in some things a little bit and get a little more into other things for a while. So K-pop just, for me, felt like an inevitability. Like,
right.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think I generally am like really into it. Seems like I'm generally into a fandom an average of 2 years, which to me seems like really short time because in those 2 years a lot happens. But I feel like that's usually how I am. I'm like pretty, and I really stick to one group. I tend to, or like one sort of focus. So that's why like it's amazing to me. I'm like, how are people in all these fandoms? Because I really only kind of follow one group completely. And like right now I'm like struggling to sort of like incorporate a couple other groups and it's like really not going that well. So, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's amazing to me. People stand so many groups. I'm like, oh wow, look at you. Because I can't even barely keep up with one.
So when I first got into K-pop, like that was me. And then after a little while, I'm like, I'm tired. I can't do this. I don't care. I'm not gonna, like, I don't have the time for this shit.
Yeah. I'm like, I have a job. When I get home, I need to watch like 2 videos and like go to sleep.
I know.
I think, oh my god, I think like, I don't know, getting back into K-pop, like, in like 2015 and then like obviously 2016 to 2017, I like really, really got back into it. It's like so exhausting. It really is. Just because it's like, that's like also one of the draws to it though, is there's like, and I know this is true with really mostly any media, but like with K-pop, there's so much content out there.
There's so much. Okay, when I was in J-pop fandom, there wasn't half this much content. Not to mention the fact that Japan hates exporting stuff and no one translates stuff and it takes forever. Like being a J-pop fan is like, you have to be so committed. It is hard. Yeah. Being a K-pop fan is freaking easy, guys. Like the company subtitle things now, you don't know how spoiled I felt going from J-pop fandom to like EXO. I was like, oh my god, I can watch this the same day. It was amazing.
I feel like it's a lot easier to be into K-pop because there's always content to keep you interested. Whereas like a lot of fandoms will die off because, you know, once the series ends, the content slowly like trickles.
Yeah, because I mean, like with like anime and stuff like that, there's always new animes or stuff like that, but then you're like, it's not necessarily like the same vein of what you want, and you're like, okay, this series is done. But with K-pop, like new groups literally have like, you know, I'm so spoiled because of K-pop too, because like I mean, I still listen to like a lot of Western American artists, of course, but like, you know, I'll be like, when was their last album? I'm like, their last album was like over 4 months ago. What the fuck? Why don't we have another one already?
It's so real. Yeah, you know, actually, I did take a K-pop hiatus in, like, I don't know, it was, like, 2006 or, no, 2007, I don't know, right before Hongang left and sued SM, when he left Super Junior, very sad shit, and right before that, and, like, I remember being like, oh my god, what the hell, because I was, like, you know, I was ignorant to a lot of this stuff, because I wasn't, again, super into stuff, so I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, what training was like, all this stuff. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like, really, I heard about the person trying to poison Yuno, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, that was when I was just like, I don't want to be involved with anything to do with this. Gotta go. And I just was like, not paying attention. And like, somewhere along the way, I watched Shiny's debut, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. So I just like, I guess, casual fan, and like listened to everything Shiny did and like them, and like I fell in love with Taemin or whatever, and I was like, oh my god. But other than that, I was like, K-pop. And for a while, I was almost like it was kind of an elitist. It's bad because I was like, whatever, K-pop, blah blah, whatever. You're just copying, whatever. I mean, for a while, let's be real, some of that stuff, it's fun now, but, like, it was literally just, like, the same holographic background with jackets and the same electronic beat. There was a period of music where that was all it was. So I'm like, okay, if it's not my sound, I don't like anything that's coming out.
Like, 2009 until 2011, it was all
exactly.
like that.
That's exactly the time that I was like, nah. And then, like, it's funny, because I was a big Hey Say Jump fan, and... my favorite, Yamada, he was, like, obsessed with K-pop and Jungkook, and I was like, how could you? You're a traitor. And I was, like, mad at him for, like, becoming into K-pop. It was such a weird thing. And then I was like, I'm done with this group. We need to move on. And so it was on to the next, and the next happened to be M Black, and I was like, where has this been my whole life?
Oh my god, what a tragedy.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so sad forever. But it was weird because I thought Lee Jin looked a lot like Yamada, and there's like I made a compilation post that was the only post I've ever done on any website that like got a lot of hits, and like oh shit, I should find it somewhere. But yeah, it was wild. So that was it was almost like a proxy like gateway.
Yeah.
And then it was like EXO became. EXO was a whirlwind that I can't even explain. It was like a fever dream more than anything. And that was when I was like, why is there so much content? Like I scrolled through the tag every day and it took me like 5 hours every day to scroll through all the content. But I did it because I was not. Wow. That was kind of why I had sleep deprivation was I stayed up just trying to consume all of the EXO stuff that happened.
Yeah.
So it was...
I remember like that was me was 17 for the longest time, which is like I guess like why I'm kind of like not on anything, but like I usually don't stay up for award shows or anything like that anymore because I'm like, you know, it's great to like be a fan and be a stan and like, you know, show your support. And it's fun if you're like doing a group watch, you know, because then it's like it can be fun because it's like you're hanging out with friends. Yeah. But like it's not fun to do by yourself anymore because you're just like, you know what, they have tons of other fans to support them, and I'm like, I really need my sleep, or because I used to just stay up and just do that shit. Yeah. And I'm like, I just don't even watch stuff when it comes out anymore sometimes, just because I'm like, I can wait a week and it'll be fine. Like,
well, that too, and work. Like, there was a time.
Yeah.
I would take a break just to watch a music video that just released, and then now I don't even care, and I'll forget to watch something.
Yeah, it really depends. It's really. I linked the post, by the way. It's nuts, but anyhow. Oh, wow. That's my like archive blog. Yeah, I was like, this is weird. But yeah, like, and I'll stay up and watch award shows now also because I feel like I'm I don't know, I'm almost at the, like, I think EXO, the level I was in EXO, probably I will never reach ever again. But NCT is really close, and so I was like, oh, okay, so, but I still am not caught up with so many things. There's just so much content that I don't have the same stamina I did. Surprisingly, while I was in college, which doesn't make sense to me because I have way more free time now, but I'm just like more tired as a human being, so it's hard.
Yeah. I feel like the older I get, the more tired I get. Not even just because not even necessarily like old stuff or anything. I just feel like my body is just built up with so much toleration of bullshit. Like, it just gets exhausted of holding all of it in.
Yeah. There should be a name for that phenomenon because it's too real.
It's called getting older.
There you go.
It's called being bitter.
That's right.
All my bitterness is like seized like control over my joints, and they can no longer function as well as they used to.
Yeah. I gotta say, I kind of really like this format of like kind of talking about like just stuff relating to fics, and then going to fics, and then like at the end just kind of like talking about like whatever. Yeah. Or like fandom. Like I like that because I feel like it's like not too much of anything, you know? Because like if it was just like 2 hours of people reading fanfics, I would like it still, but like personally, like if I were like listener, I'm not sure that I'd be all for it like every single time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a long time to talk about like just one thing
to like read.
And then this gives it like context.
Also, I feel like,
I
you know, personality, because you guys get to like know us a little bit better, and the fun part is we get to know each other
way
better.
Too much about me, and when I expose myself.
We haven't even gotten into, you know, our worries for the future and all the
Honestly,
other
let's talk
stuff.
about 401ks, y'all, and how I don't know what a
What's that?
401k is.
Oh, actually, I am about to. Thank you for reminding me because I needed to start my 401k fund. Thank you.
I need to find the when I worked for the government briefly in high school. Weird, another story for another day. They sent me they saved money for my retirement, which is like $170. But I'm like, I'll take it. They sent me a check, and I actually need to find that.
I have no idea what a 401k is. To be honest.
But what I was gonna say, next time we should talk about like our whole train of fandom, like how we started, how we got into fandom, and like what we went through until this point. So that I need to actually write down because, like I said, I go through fandoms like toilet paper. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I feel
and
like,
I don't know how much y'all read to J-pop fandom, but yeah, next time you'll get to hear a lot about that and what that's like, and I can offer that perspective.
I'll get to talk all about Bandom, Tumblr Bandom, and also Weeb fandom.
a lot of
I'll
mine.
talk about a bit to add to the fandom as well.
So for me, it was all like weeb trash and video games and anime and a bunch of like other shit that's completely like I had a brief like WWE stint where I was into that and like actually
I did too.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so
We've
weird.
really talked about this, I feel like, but I was never into WWE, but I read fanfiction for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man. I want to, like, I don't know, I wanted to think of a really good ending question or parting note. Do you guys have any, like, good ending questions that you want to ask of each other?
You think when you guys are like, because it's at a point where fandom is like a universal thing. So now, you know, there were people who were, say, Star Trek fans in the 70s, and now, you know, they're probably...
The first ever fic.
That's where fanfiction originated, if you're ever interested, actually.
They're grandparents by now, though, is what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
When we're like...
Oh, God. I don't like where this is going, but
no. But when we're, like, old, when we're, well...
I mean...
It's a horrible word. But
we were senior citizens.
When we're 97 and a half.
Yeah.
Continue.
What do you think is going to be, like, your takeaway when you look back at your life and all your fandoms? Like, will you think it's been worth it? Will you be like, oh, yeah, that was a time in my life. That was most of my life.
I already feel like I feel that. Does that make sense? Like, I already feel like I know.
I get it.
Like, I'm like... I feel like it's been very fulfilling to me personally, but like on a larger societal view, it's been a complete waste of time because I haven't done anything like with my life in a way that's like I don't know, valuable to society. Yeah. Like honestly, like I was pretty lucky to work where I do, even though I don't make a lot of money. Like I don't work for a soulless company or something, and so I feel purposeful or whatever with my job, which is nice and lucky. Not everybody gets to do that, so I feel like not as bad now, I guess. So for like the fact that this takes up all my time and I don't have a social life much, but like in a way, I don't know, it's been fulfilling in its own personal way, which I feel like should really be all that matters. And guess that's the takeaway. Is like, so what if you think people think you're wasting your time? Like, you know, when young fans come, they're like, my mom thinks that I should be outside when I just am wanting to read fanfic, and I'm just like, do you, kid? Because like you're not hurting anybody, because you're not showing up to fan signs with disgusting t-shirts, then by all means, like, if that makes everyone has like the thing that they want to come home and do, and if that's what you want to come home and do, then like what's the big deal? So I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna be alone with cats, but like that to me is not horrible, because I'm also like, great, but I'm also like,
any relationship you want through fics.
I mean like for real, like that's kind of a thing. And like, I don't know, it's funny, but I also am like, I don't know, because there's gonna be an age, and I thought I had already reached it, where I'm gonna be like, fandom is over, now what do I do?
So that was me for a while. Like every couple increments. It was like, yeah, when I was 12, I was like, yeah, I'll get over this when I'm 16, and I was 16, yeah, I'll get over this when I'm 18, when I was 18, yeah, I'll get over this when I'm 20, and now I realize, like, there's no stop to this ride. The ride
Yeah, see,
goes.
I felt that, and I definitely felt that, like, twice, and that was right before EXO, and then, like, when I had to step away from EXO fandom, which I guess is another story for another day. But that's when I was like, yeah, I guess it's truly over this time. Like, no group is ever going to make me feel that way, and I'm never going to, like, want to watch award shows, and I'm not going to want to read fic, and I'm not going to want to, like, stay up, and I'm not going to, like, gush over people. It's, like, over. I'm old. We're done. The chapter's closed, and it was psych. So since then, I'm like, I don't know if this will ever end. And part of me is like, I don't know if I want to be 60 years old though, and like following a bunch of 19-year-olds. That's kind of really what it is.
Ass. Catch my ass off into all these new groups whenever I'm 75.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
my ass still
being
flapping.
the 75-year-old in the chat. I'm like, yeah, I'm 75. You know, I'm into EXO. And then you have like a girl that's like, yeah, I just turned 12. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of which server it is.
And I'm like, fucking score, I win. That's what I hope.
It might be Shiny, the Discord I'm thinking of, but someone's mom is actually in a Discord in like a fan of K-pop, in their like 50s or 60s.
huh. That's pretty wacky.
They can't.
See, so
I have.
Think no,
what?
Katie, you're kidding yourself, and like you will be that 70-year-old in the chat.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have kind of a quick, deep, introspective answer because I'm that bitch. But I think that kind of like Miyuki said, like I think that it depends on like what like you personally find pleasing, and that like I think society has a lot of like age, like a lot of numbers that you should quote unquote have stuff done by or be living your life by, like, you know, out of college at 22. Obviously I didn't do that. You know, completed whatever, or be like in a serious job by like 24, quote unquote whatever. And I think that like a lot of it is just like you kind of have to step back from like what either society or like your parents are telling you should be done by a certain time, kind of set your own pace, and then like just think of what is, as long as something is appealing and still fun to you. Like, yeah. I like, obviously, you know, I make fucking YouTube meme videos for fucking fun. Like, yeah. But it's like enjoyable to me, and like I like doing it. And so like, you know, as long as I still get something out of it, I'll have fun. Because like I was lucky to have like I had, my dad was one of those Star Trek fanboys who read fanfic in the 70s.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it was cool. And then like when he was a little bit older, he told me that he like was super obsessed with like Mahjong when it first got onto the computer. Wow. And he was like, yeah, I would spend like 20 hours a day playing it.
I like, kind of almost wish my parents were like that, because my parents were like hippies doing all the things with their life. And so literally they were like, Katie, why are you such a fucking nerd? And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't hurt anyone. I have good grades, so leave me alone. They were like, fair. Okay, bye.
See, like, it was totally cool for, like, I'm actually gonna, like, expose myself a little bit, but it's okay, lots of people do this. My dad had, like, a weird, cool profession, like, not necessarily weird cool, but my dad owned a roller skating rink when I was a kid. Awesome. Oh. So, like, that was unconventional, but, like, my mom's in the medical field, so I'm like, that's a lot to fucking, you know, go, like, grow up to or, like, fucking try and match. But, like, I don't know, I've always had this really good balance of, like, I, like, struggle with it a lot, because I struggle with, like, a lot of this takes up my time, and I sometimes forego adult things that I should be doing to, like, focus on K-pop, which is not a good thing that you should do. But, like,
kids, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't, like, forego personal health or sleep for, you know, K-pop. It's fucking stupid. The videos will be there when you get back. But, yeah, like, I feel, like, as long as it's enjoyable to me, like, as long as I'm not hurting anybody, like, you know, it's fine. And as long as you can separate fiction from reality, me, and you know that you're not really dating someone.
Yeah. Rule number 1, like, yeah, they can be your priority, but, like, don't think that they owe you anything. Like, yeah, that's just a thing that should stop. Like, literally, you're there to support their profession, and they're like, great, I'm validated for the shit I chose to pursue or the shit I was forced to pursue. And that's, like, it. and everything else is in your mind, and that's okay because that can be fun, but it is in your mind.
It's
PSA.
kind of like, I like to say that like K-pop idols and stuff like that, or just like celebrities in general, usually care about the general you. Like they care about fans as like a general basis, but you know, they don't know you personally, so it's like you just have to like separate fact from fiction. You like have to know that they're not going to know you. You're not going. I'm sorry to break anyone's. Yeah, sorry to fucking break anyone's fucking dreams. If you think that you're going to move to Korea, start learning Korean, meet your fucking idol, and then they're going to start dating you, and marry you. I'm sorry that that's not going to happen. So, as much as I mean, it's going to happen for me, but that's like different. It's not going to happen to you because it's going to happen for me. But no, like just as long as you can separate that out, just like I think it's okay.
Interestingly relevant but important like note for a fanfic podcast. Like fans writing fictional stuff.
It's fictional.
Again, this is fictional.
Yeah. And, like, you know, I think that, like, I think it's important because, like, fanfic I've always seen as, like, a really cool thing to, like, work out frustration. It's like any other creative outlet, you know? Like, I feel like people get flack for it because it's fan fiction, but it's still a creative outlet. It's still writing. Yeah. You know? And it's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it's like people make fun of it a lot because they're like, oh, they wrote themselves with this idol. Isn't that shameful? And it's like, no, unless they think that's true or that's gonna happen, then that's a whole other thing. But like, it's really harmless, guys. I mean, unless you know the idol sees it, and that's like,
that's weird.
Yeah,
but don't send it to your idol. Don't send them fanfic. God.
But it's like different vein, but it's kind of like girls or guys who have like a poster of Scarlett Johansson in their room, and they're like, I fucking love her. She would be a great wife. You know, it's like it's still like you're still fantasizing about like someone with yourself, or like, you know, someone else with someone else. Like it's like all fiction as long as you understand that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think on that.
Bam. Dropping knowledge.
I think on that note, this is where we end it. So I'm gonna stop recording.